Hello and welcome to Hare and the Hawthorn. My name's Kate Ray and I'm your guest. Over the next few weeks, I'll be looking at doing something a little bit different with this YouTube channel. As well as our regular features of longer interviews with people around their fairy experiences and their work with fae, which is my passion and what I love, I've decided to do a bit of a sideline in looking at people's personal experiences with other things. So anything weird, anything freaky, anything paranormal. I myself am a paranormal investigator, and what this means is I've experienced over the years lots of things that I can't explain. I wanted to start off this particular section with looking at things that I've experienced over the years. We will have other guests coming on. I've got quite a few lined up for the next few weeks. So every week we'll look at a different personal experience, as well as these bigger interviews that I've been doing. So I'm going to start off with an experience that happened to me very recently, and it was just weird. It's something similar has happened once before, but this was particularly interesting to me in the fact that it had correlations with something that happened last year. So on the solstice moon, which was the strawberry moon, which was last Friday, I think, I had something happen in the middle of the night, which didn't freak me out, and it didn't freak me out for certain reasons that I'll get into. So I was woke in the early hours of the morning, as these things seem to occur, which is, you know, sort of, I think it was anywhere between probably 3 and 5 o'clock in the morning. It was definitely still dark outside, so hadn't got to that quite dawn stage. So I could pretty much tell that we were still in the middle of the night. And I woke up burning hot, and I mean burning hot from the core of my being. I was so hot, and it woke me up. And I lay there, and I was definitely awake, but had my eyes closed. And I felt something make pressure on the bed, like something had sat on the bed. Now, I have a very elderly dog who, unfortunately, these days is not able to jump on the bed. But in my sort of groggy, slightly groggy state, I thought, how has she got on the bed? So I sat up and I looked and I checked, and she wasn't there. She was down the side of me to the top of the bed, absolutely fast asleep. And that was the first thing. So it felt like a pressure on the bed and then a pressure off the bed, sort of something sitting down on the bed and then standing back up again. Didn't think much of it, and sort of few minutes later, I was laid back down again, again eyes closed, and then I felt what was like something clawing the covers at the bottom of the bed and sort of pulling them off and pulling them down the bed. And it wasn't just a little tug. This was a continuous pulling, and it was only a few seconds, and I got really angry about this. So I was kicking my feet about at the bottom of the bed to stop it from happening, which it did stop it from happening. Again, I checked where the dog was, and the dog was in the same position, fast asleep. So I knew she wasn't particularly bothered about what was going off in terms of, you know, was it weird activity? The thing that struck me about the situation was I wasn't freaked out. I wasn't scared. I wasn't panicked by it. I was really annoyed that I'd been woken up in the middle of the night. Now, I'd thought about this for a while, about when it had occurred, and it had occurred on that full moon, which I thought was an interesting time for that kind of thing to occur. And the last time that something happened to me on a similar vein, but not quite right, I actually figured out happened exactly the same time last year. So it was a solstice full moon, and I was awake and laying in bed. Again, early hours of the morning. I'd gone to bed quite late, but I was very much awake, and I heard this voice go, he, he, but more sort of guttural than that. So I shot up in bed with lots of expletives, like, what the hell is that, you know? And it happened again. It was the foot of the bed, and it was as clear as day. It went, he. And I was like, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. And it was so loud. It was like something was in the room, sort of mimicking or mocking. That's the kind of feeling that I got. And that was on, again, I think, the full moon from the solstice, which is really interesting that it was the same time of year that occurred. So, I mean, if anybody's got any theories about what that might be or what might be happening on that particular moon at the solstice or any correlation. I know that the solstice is a real big time for the fae and elementals to come through into the world. So I kind of think that it might be related to that. I am very aware that I have a being, if you like, that is around me on a regular basis, and I don't mind it. It's it's a little bit cheeky, but it's nothing on the malevolent side. And I think being in the paranormal, investigating it, going to haunted properties and seeking out these things, we have to expect that these things are going to happen to us. So this is a quick story of what I wanted to share with you and see if I could get some feedback off you guys about what you think might be going on. Like I say, I've got guests lined up who are going to give accounts of their weird experiences. And if there's anybody out there that wants to chat with me about what's happened to them, you know, talk it through. I'm interested in how people react as well to these experiences, what it has done short, medium and long term to their life and their existence. You know, has there been something particular that's happened to you that's put you on a certain spiritual path or changed your ideology or changed your religious beliefs or, you know, how did you react in the first instance? These are all things that really interest me. I realised that personal experiences are subjective and you can't ever really convey to other people how things happened or what things happened to you and put them in a context that people accept it as real. Now, my theory is that these experiences happen to most people at some point in their life. So these odd experiences, I think everybody has experienced something that they can't explain outside the realms of the normal. And I do believe that these things are definitely more normal than we first figure, and that's what I want to try and look at as well with these short bursts of people's stories. So like I say, there's going to be a bit of a shake up. Next few weeks, I think, sees my year anniversary of YouTubing, and I've absolutely loved it. You know, I've had some, please look at my other YouTube interviews. I've had some outstanding guests who are just brilliant within in their own rights and in the fields that of study and what they look at in terms of fairies and ghosts, witchcraft, the paranormal, that kind of thing. So if that's the kind of thing that you're into, I'm assuming it is because you're here with me, then please have a look at those others. There will be more coming up, and I've got a few things in irons in the fire as well about other things that I want to do with this channel. So thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy the up and coming stories that we've got from different people, and stay in touch. Like I said before, I read every single comment that I get. I'm not great at answering them, and I do try to answer them or like them, and do try to respond to those that are a bit more critical in their approach to what I do. So have a great day, and I'll see you soon.